Have you noticed the hyperinflation? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the 10 F's of the economy.
And how those 10 F's are going to affect the RVing space. What the fuel is going on? Welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes, and long story short, we RV in pursuit of freedom, independence, and adventure.
Because life is so short, guys, and it's getting spooky out here. Prices are going up on everything, and the power of the dollar is shrinking. And what it's doing is it's squeezing the middle guy, right? The middle class has been decimated over the last couple of years, and it's a scary time in our country's history. Inflation has not been this high in more than 40 years, guys. Most people alive have never experienced anything like this, right? It's because we've been on one heck of a run. The Fed is just printing and printing and printing, and the whole world runs on a petrodollar. So everything the whole world does is in dollars. Well, right now, all of that is completely changing. And what it's doing is it's forcing the price of everything to skyrocket.
Yeah, so let's start with number one.
What the fuel is going on? It's insane. And we think this is going to have a huge effect on the RV space. As you guys know, the RV space has been hot for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but now it's going to be something that only few can afford.
Yeah, it's that expensive. I went down to the gas pump the other day to fill my truck. It was $5.10 a gallon, almost $200 to fill my truck.
And that's actually cheap.
Yeah, and we're blessed, right? We are so blessed because we have the means that we can handle it. The sad thing is that those who don't make a lot of money, who live paycheck to paycheck,
or fixed income,
well, right, they cannot pay the prices that are going on right now and go out and have a weekend of RVing or get too far from their home. So inflation, which they say is 7% right now, which I believe it's closer to 20% because they changed that CPI, that basket of goods. You know, they manipulate it all the time, and they put the things in there to make us think that it's not as high as it is. But right now, everyone knows that the cost of fuel is through the roof.
Well, and let's talk about how this is going to impact RVing. So if you already own an RV, you're going to be really selective about where you go in your trips. You're probably going to be traveling closer. You're probably going to be traveling slower.
Yeah.
I anticipate more people traveling to the less expensive destination states. So places like California and New York, where the prices of fuel are notoriously high.
Yes.
I see people avoiding those states.
It's really sad, you guys, that this will have an effect on the RV space. People will not be able to travel as far as they would like to. But on the other side, those who can afford to RV to those nice, beautiful state or national parks, there'll probably be a lot more room because the typical average person in the United States just can't afford to RV for even a weekend or two.
Well, and you're not going to want to do the cross country.
No.
You know, you're going to want to take it slow and steady. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, what the food is going on?
Yeah, this is a tricky one, and I'm going to highlight a Facebook post that really hit home for me. You see, the local butcher here, he actually broke down how much the cow costs, how much of it is usable, the price per pound. And the more I looked at it, the more angry I got.
Yeah, because the corporations buy that cow at around 97 cents a pound, and they turn around and sell it for $7 a pound.
It's insane.
So they're
who's
making all the markup.
that?
The farmer's not making the markup.
Nope.
He's getting screwed, right? The person that's buying the meat that need to feed their family, they're getting screwed because $7-8 a pound is just too darn high.
Exactly.
It's the corporations, right? It's the grocery stores who have all that margin, and they're squeezing every single one of us. So what can we do?
Where do you spend your dollars?
Where are you going to spend your dollars? Just keep it local. Support the smaller mom and pops, not the big corporations. Also, you're going to want to stock up on food.
The non-perishables.
The non-perishables. This is tricky because canned goods is one of the easiest way you can do this, but in an RV, it makes it very difficult because of the weight.
Yeah.
So you're going to want dry goods, and just think 6 months out to a year, because whatever you buy today is probably going to be a lot more expensive next week. So you got to get that mindset. Stock up now on everything, even non-perishables like toilet paper or bleach, right? These are all things you should be stocking up on now because they're going to be double the price in a few more months.
Well, and not just that, but the food line. You showed this article on this food line. It's getting to the place where the cost of living is so high that even if you have a job, you still can't afford your basic necessities.
And this broke our hearts. You know, one of the major news stations actually covered a food bank line in New York that was over 1.5 miles long, you guys. And the reporter went down the line and asked these people, you know, these got to be homeless people, right? No. These are people that work 40 and 60-hour weeks but still do not make enough money to stretch their dollar to feed their own family.
Yep. So on a positive note, though, and I know there really isn't a positive note about hyperinflation and food costs, I do think this is going to promote more potluck-style meals. I think it's going to promote more home-cooked meals. I think it's going to promote more that food independence, whether it's growing your own food, whether it's chickens. I think you're going to see people adjust in creative ways to offset this.
Yeah, Mercedes loves those chickens, and now I love those chickens. Those chickens, the 4 chickens we have, give us 5 eggs a day, guys. That's a great source of protein. And I don't know if you've ever had fresh eggs from chickens that you feed. They look different. They taste different. They don't have all these chemicals.
They're less eggy.
Yeah, they're just wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. And so obviously you can't RV with chickens.
But the point is you're going to see more creative solutions to the food problem.
Yeah, seeds, stuff like that. We don't have to tell anybody this. If you go to the grocery store, your bags are getting smaller and the cost is getting bigger, guys. One of the things that'll really blow you away and make you think is if you go, it's spring.
Yeah.
Go look to buy fertilizer right now, right? Another F. Fertilizer. Get some
Bonus
fertilizer.
F.
Get some fertilizer now. It has gone up 400% because of global politics, right? Everybody's getting squeezed. And so if you are going to grow your food, you got to have seeds and you got to have fertilizer.
You ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one. What the funds are going on, guys?
Yeah.
Financial stuff, right?
The money.
The money. If you have all your money in one bank, you need to get some of that cash out of the bank.
Well, we're not financial analysts, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we're not financial analysts, but I guess we'll tell you what we're doing. In the past 2 years, we have printed 80% of the money ever been printed in the history of our country.
That's insanity.
That is insanity. And eventually that's going to come home to roost, right, guys? So the other thing that's really going on with geopolitics is that China is talking with Saudi Arabia of getting off of the petrodollar, right? Digital currency is scary. But right now, China is negotiating with Saudi Arabia to settle oil contracts in the digital yuan instead of dollars. And if we ever lose the right to have the main currency, all those dollars are going to flood back here, and then you're going to see hyper inflation. So what we've done is we've basically spread things out. We don't keep all our money in the bank. We actually bought some silver that we have.
We're not telling you what to do.
We're not telling anybody what to do. We're not financial analysts or professionals. We're just sharing with you what we've done.
Well, and I think that even having goods, I don't think it has to be gold and silver. I think that having hard goods is worth more. I mean, even having cans of corn or, just...
Well, tradable goods. Anything you can trade, right? It's better.
Valuable.
You have money sitting in the bank, you're losing 7% of that. That is shrinking.
But if you have a lifetime supply of AAA batteries, at least their price is going up, so technically the value is going
They're
up.
tradable. You can sell those. You can barter those with friends or people in the community, right? So it's so important that you don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You guys know that used car sales are up 40%.
That's insane.
That's insane. We could actually sell our truck, our dually right now, for more money than we paid for it 3 years ago. That's insanity. People are getting the heck out of paper money, out of the dollar, and they're getting into hard goods, real estate, hard assets.
We need to buy more chickens.
We're going to add 2 more chickens, but this is what you should be thinking, And then finally, and God forbid this ever happens, if there's ever a run in the bank.
That's scary.
That's the bank's money. That's not your money. Yeah. And if people freak out, and especially with the craziness that's going on in the world right now, and everybody makes a run to get their money out, the banks can lock the doors and you're screwed.
Yeah.
So take some cash out and put it aside just in case things really hit the fan. And at this point, you guys You guys all know this. We're not trying to scare anybody.
Well, yeah.
We're only sharing our own experience and the things. I'm kind of a student of history, and the last time we've ever been anywhere near where we are right now is back in the 1920s during the Great Depression, you guys. You know, so buy hard goods, buy food, buy materials, buy things you might need, generators, solar panels. Those are the types of things. Instead of leaving that cash in the bank that's shrinking, put that in materials that are actually going up. But we are moving now into a digital economy, and the Fed has been announcing the new use of what's called a Fed coin. They want to make everything digital. They don't want paper anymore because they can't track that. With new digital money, they can track and control everything that you spend. They'll know where you spend it, when you spend it. They can force you to spend it a little quicker than you like to. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of this, but if you get a chance and you've never heard of the Fed coin,
Google it.
Just Google it. Google it. It is terrifying. They're already doing this in China right now, and they have what's called social credit scores, and it's all tied to digital yuan. And we're honest to God, guys, we're not trying to scare you. We love our community. We love our friends. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive now. One of the things that's going to be super, super important is friends. Family and friends.
Yeah, and I know the next F's of the economy, family and friends.
Yeah, and I don't want to say what the family.
Although, if you're honest, everyone at one point in time says, what the
There's
family?
A few out there, right?
Yeah,
what the family?
There's always that point in time. But if you really think about it, the friends and family could be one of the bright spots in this whole ordeal. If you look at how people had to be resourceful, and if you look at why we're stressing so much on community, at the end of the day, if things really hit the fan, do you even know your neighbor's name? Do you guys do the courtesy wave? Neighborhoods have been eroded. And now more than ever, it's so important that you are connected with your neighbors around you.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, for the past 6-7 months, Mercedes and I have been working so hard at building our community. We love our community of like-minded people, and that's what we're doing here at Thunder Canyon. But family and friends are so important, right? Your community is so, so important. Not only do we think about ourselves and how we can sustain ourselves for 6 months to a year, we're always thinking about how we can help our neighbors, our friends.
Because you're going to be relying on them.
Right, we're going to be relying on each other. When I was a little boy, my grandmother and grandfather used to tell me stories about back in the Great Depression, how all the kids, they'd do one birthday per month. And all the kids would come together, the parents would chip in to get them a birthday cake, and the kids that were born in that month would celebrate. Those people knew and understand what hard times look like. We live in a country now that there's many of us have never experienced hard and tough times. Guys, hard and tough times are already here. It's going to get worse. So get close to your neighbors. Build your community.
So I have a story about this. So locally, our mayor, okay, so she has another business that she runs, and she has been really frustrated seeing her constituents that are, struggling to make ends meet. And I do see it in the grocery store. The elderly ladies on fixed income saying, I can no longer afford to buy meat, and that sucks.
It's horrible.
So she has been donating her mayoral pay, and she is having people anonymously give names. If you know of somebody that's struggling, be it on a fixed income, single parent, whatever, they're getting gifted a $100 gift card from the local grocery store. She's giving back to the community, and I think that's what we're going to see more of. Those of you, what's that phrase that to whom much is given, much is
expected.
So I'm calling you out here. If you're in a blessed position, don't be surprised if you find yourself needing to kind of take on a burden for your community.
We need to help our brothers and sisters.
The next F that is a little unpopular, but it needs to be said, firearms and force.
Yeah, we've lost 75,000 subscribers in the past year because we talk about things that aren't exactly what you're supposed to talk about, right? Freedom of speech, not anymore.
Well, and in a vague way, I think everybody needs to know how to count to 2. If you know, you know.
Oh, Second Amendment. You had me stumped there for a second.
So, in a vague way, everyone needs to know how to count to 2.
Yeah. One of the things that comes with hyperinflation is social unrest. We saw what happened in Venezuela. Yeah. And so it's so important that you learn how to protect your family, your friends, your community.
Because hungry people are going to be desperate, and this isn't a judgment.
No, hungry people are very desperate. And if you look back at history, the quickest way to replace a government is by making its people hungry. People, when they're hungry, will do very crazy things to feed their kids. And I get it. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to feed my family, period.
A highly populated community, you have more hungry people potentially around you.
Yeah, so if it was me, and that's one of the reasons we're out in the country right now, guys, when you're in a heavily populated city, it's going to be scary. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near there. At the same time, if it really hits the fan, those people in the big populated cities are going to be heading out into the country to find food, to find community. And so, again... And forage, right? What the forage? You might have... Listen, we're going to do whatever we have to do to take care of our families. If you're living in a community and the community, everybody's hungry and they know you have food, you've got to be able to defend your family and defend your food, guys. You know, and it comes one of those things again about trading and bartering. It also goes back to having friends and building your own community so we can help each other. Maybe your friends and family or community has something you need. You can trade back and forth with them.
And this is where I think, as an RVer, you have to be more careful, because you don't know. When we were traveling the US, we didn't know when we were in a bad part of town or a good part of town necessarily. So you need to be more cognizant. The benefit is that you can leave. If you're in a bad part of town, you can drive off. But the negative is that if you've driven into a bad neighborhood
and you're driving a $300,000 to $400,000 bus, and they know you have food and money,
you're kind of a target.
Yeah, and so you're going to have to be more careful not to drive through those heavily populated areas. Take the route around that, you know, and just be able to defend yourself and your property.
Yep. And on a positive note, I do think that people are going to appreciate their law enforcement. I think people are going to appreciate, you know, those that served. Because when you think about the use of force, it's a horrible, scary thing that nobody wants to even consider. But, you know, if it really does come to that, it's those people that really have put their lives on the line that you want to thank.
And they do it every day across this country, put their lives on the line to protect other people's lives.
Yeah.
That's our law enforcement. It's another reason we've lost so many subscribers.
Because
during that whole summer of insanity, Mercedes and I were making videos on supporting our law enforcement. We don't want to defund the police.
Well, you don't want to let a few bad apples make it, you know, ruin it for everybody. The reality is that it's the poor communities that lost even double because they need the police.
They need the police,
yeah,
you know, and so God bless our police. God bless our law enforcement. And guys, please support them as much as you possibly can, because ultimately, if it hits the fan, those are the people that are going to protect us from the bad guys.
And I want to say a special thank you to a few law enforcement officers. You know who you are, and you know why I'm thanking you, but I can't say who you are or why we're thanking you, but thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to donate to a great cause, go over and look at the Honor Flag Network. Chris
That's pretty cool.
And Cindy, they're amazing people. We've done a couple of videos on them. We still don't understand why the rest of the YouTubers in the RV space haven't done a video.
Support them?
Yeah, they won't publicly support them. It's one of the reasons we've lost subscribers. We publicly support everything we believe in. We love law enforcement. We love God. We love family. We love community.
Yeah.
And we've lost 75,000 subscribers in the past year and a half because we do videos nobody else will, but we don't care.
The next F that we want to talk about is
what
freedom.
The fun?
And actually,
what the freedom?
No, and I haven't told you this, Sean, but I actually spent some money on some books on how to, like, natural medicines with plants. I got a book on some old recipes from the Depression times. So getting creative with the food. And see, this is the kind of thing, if I buy candles, he'll kind of get annoyed. But if I buy survival books, he's all good with that.
It's a great point. Stock up on those books. Download how-to materials.
Because if we lost power, I want it in paper. Or like things like an atlas, right? If I didn't have the internet, or if I didn't have electricity, or if I had to be if I could only provide electricity to one thing in my house, it's going to be the freezer and the fridge.
Right.
It's not going to be the computer. I'm not going to be Googling things. So if I can have those Encyclopedia Britannicas are looking really good right now. You know, those things that are written, first aid instructions that are in written form. I think that's beneficial, because why am I putting that under freedom? Well, we're all very internet reliant, and these guys are telling people where we are at all times. They're recording what we say. They're telling big tech what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're Googling. And so,
yeah, another F, what the fascism.
Well, and that's all we're going to say there. We're going to be very vague. But having things in paper form is going to be beneficial so that you're not reliant on an internet connection.
Yeah, if you watch the mainstream media lately, guys, they're all talking about the next thing is going to be a cyber attack, which means we lose our computers, we lose the use of our phones, we use loose of Google and getting quick information.
What do you do without Google?
So it's important that you download the books, the how-to stuff, you know, and just be ready for anything. If you lost your phone, can you imagine what's going to happen to this younger generation if they lose their phones? They won't be able to find their way anywhere. Yeah. They're gonna be absolutely screwed. And
so teach a kid how to read a map, darling.
Yeah, teach a kid how to read a map. Download the books you need. Order the books. I love it when Mercedes is ordering books about, you know, preparing food and how to do canning and stuff like that. I love that stuff.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but let's be ready.
Yeah, just prepare for the worst. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah. And then the next F that I wanted to talk about was fun, because RVing is supposed to be fun.
It is.
Believe it or not. And I think what this financial situation is going to do is I think it's going to make people pick their moments of fun. If I only have $100 to spend on this trip for entertainment, what am I going to value? I think people are going to be getting really creative. I think arts and crafts. I think nature walks and scavenger hunts, you know, things that we used to do back in the day. And this isn't a bad thing. I mean, my kid will get more entertained playing with a stick and a rock than she will.
A box.
Yeah. Or
those
a box.
boxes.
Exactly. Those types of things are more entertaining, I think, for kids. And so we're going to get really creative on what we do for fun. And I think that's a good thing, because I think it's going to help us turn off the devices and spend more time together.
Yeah, guys, we're lost as a society. We've forgotten where we come from and how blessed we truly are. You know, the closer we get to God, the closer we get to each other. The closer we get to God, the closer we're getting to our community. And if you haven't realized, Mercedes and I have been working really hard on building our community, because the people we've attracted are so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And we know that in tough times, truly, it's those relationships that we have with our people, right? Our closest friends. So fun is going to get back to basics, back to the simple things. God, family, country. In the end, we know who wins this, you guys, but we believe there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering. So be responsible, pray, prepare, and be ready for whatever's going to come next. If you're one of us who has been very blessed and has more than you need, be willing to share that with other people, you know, and we're going to continue to do what we're doing, which is to grow our community and be a place that people are going to really want to come and enjoy the simpler things in life. On a personal note, you guys, we are so grateful for the gifts that we've been given here at Thunder Canyon and the community with the RV Yard Squad that we're building.
You guys are pretty darn cool.
You guys are incredible. And, you know, we continue to say the things that we're not supposed to say on YouTube. We love God. We love family. We love our community, and we're hoping to grow that community, because where we lack, someone else helps, right?
And we lack a lot. We need all of you.
Things. We need all the help we can get. So consider becoming part of our community. Take a look at our memberships. And jump on board with the RV Oswald. Guys, it's amazing what's been happening here at Thunder Canyon, and people that are RV Oswald members, we have so much in common with each other. We're living in scary times, you guys, but we really believe that we know who wins in the end. And so we have to have faith, but we also have to prepare, you know, not only to help ourselves, but to help those who are around or closest to us, our friends, our family, and our community. So
we're stronger together.
We're stronger together, man, and we want to grow our numbers. So we love you. We're so grateful for the gifts that you've given us and the community that you've given us, the prayers that you've sent to us. And if we miss something, just leave it in the comments below.
But it has to start with an F.
It's got to start with the letter F. We'll see you guys in the next video.